Hello, everybody. My name is Samantha Luzzi, and I am going to use an Ignite Talk format to talk about what I learned from my CET 720 course, which is part of my MSET program, which I took in the spring of 2018. I'm going to use an Ignite kind of talk format to talk to you about what I learned, the overview of this class. For me, some of the highlights and main takeaways from this class were from the books that we read on the innovator's mindset and evaluating and assessing technology in the digital swamp. So I'm going to talk about the innovator's mindset first. And a lot of times what I found personally is that I know I want to do stuff in my classroom. I want to be innovative, but how exactly go about that? That is the main question. And I loved this book because it took ideas of transformation, innovation, and made them really accessible to everybody. The main thing I found is that we need to kind of aim forward for educators to improve education for our students in new and better ways of looking at things. So progressing forward, not just being stagnant where you are. We want to always strive to be better. We want to take that fixed mindset, that kind of locked where you are locked in place of I can't do something, to changing that from I can't to how can I, to a growth mindset. We want to be able to grow in our education with our students. We want them to know that they can do something. And I think that it's important to remember that even though administration and schools want us, like everybody, to do innovation, innovation does not come from us doing what we are expected to do. Okay, it does not come from compliance. It comes from us wanting to change and evolve all the time. We need to look beyond our classrooms and what they're doing now and think of what they can do going forward. Ask how you can make something work for you and don't be focused on how it's not working for you. Always look forward and how you can improve something. We need to do this through reflection, which is one of the 8 characteristics that Kuros mentioned in his book, and I think it's very valuable. Reflection is where deeper learning comes from. We can ask those W questions, those how, what, where, when, why questions to really evaluate how things are working for us. And using that empathy piece, again, another characteristic from his book. Empathy is very important because through that, we kind of learn what works best for our students at their level. So those how questions of how could this work? Why does this work? We need to do that for the students, not for us as a teacher. And after you read the book, you kind of are again asking how can you actually do this and make it possible? How can we foster innovation? And one of those ways is through the use of technology. And technology is a huge buzzword in education right now. Everyone wants to use technology. And technology is great, but we need to determine what we can actually use and what we should be using, which is where the evaluation portion of our class came into play, and where evaluation is super important in education right now, especially for using technology. We used a lot of different tools in our toolkit, which was great. One of them was the book called Evaluating and Assessing Technology in the Digital Swamp Index, or just in the Digital Swamp. You can follow that, which helps us kind of decide what to use in a classroom, which is great. It was divided into 3 different sections of our book, which made it really easy to follow, very friendly and easy to use, which makes it very accessible for a lot of different educators, not just technology-based ones. The first thing they talked about was called system change. And system change is how the technology will actually change the classroom and make it more effective, make it different, change the kind of, not just the classroom, but the actual school itself. So what can Flipgrid do for your classroom that makes it really innovative? And after that comes pedagogy. And we all know pedagogy is very important. It's how things actually work. Having defined outcomes and goals for your technology will help us determine if it actually is effective. If it doesn't meet those goals, it's not effective, and we probably shouldn't use it for the purpose that we thought we could. And after that just comes the technology itself. Is the tool effective? Is it user-friendly? Does it have a lot of support that comes with it so it's easy for you to use? If it doesn't, it's not easy to integrate, we might not be able to use it for the purpose that we want it to, which is unfortunate but happens. And we decide that not just on our own, but as a group of educators. So in a school district, you decide as a group, will this work for you? Will it not? Having a group is important because it really makes it easier to get all the different ideas going with you, and collaboration is very important. One of the other tools that we use was actually called the RCE Tech Coach, which I loved. I thought it was great because it's very, very very easy to input all your information in. It's extremely user-friendly. It provides a format for you, so it is very easy to use. Relatively, if you have all your information down, you enter it into the website, what tool you're using, what's the purpose, demographic, has all of that in there for you, which makes it really easy for you to actually evaluate the tool that you want. And we didn't just use that. We used EdTech pilots as well and EdTech guides. So EdTech pilots are when you actually pilot a program and test it out for a company, which is really interesting. And an EdTech guide, we had a document that we used to kind of go over our class and again, kind of go through those different perspectives. And it's really easy for us as students in this class to get the different perspectives on technology as a student and as a teacher because we use them throughout our course. So we actually kind of evaluated the tools that we used as we did it, like Flipgrid and Seesaw. It was really interesting to use. I just kind of want to thank you for watching my presentation. I hope you learned something in the spirit of collaboration. I put my Twitter handle, my website, and my email address on the slide. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something. Hold on.